Hello and welcome to VEDA Day 2. So far we've actually made it, though you all may be confused since VEDA Day 1 will have been uploaded today, or at least will be uploaded today if YouTube actually allows my video to be uploaded in a timely fashion, not 4 hours, give or take, 3 hours the night of, and then 1 hour in the morning, and then it's having issues, so it takes another hour after that. Hopefully that doesn't happen this time, so that you guys can all learn about the magical world of Tea Club. You may be wondering why I'm only using one hand. Now I'm using two hands. There's this thing called an iPod. It holds the information of what we do in Tea Club. We do what we want. That is the main point of Tea Club. Actually, the main point is we drink tea together. That used to be our theme. We'll probably think up a new one, although it's still true. Mostly it's just a community thing. We drink tea, we have discussion, and we have more discussions about some weird shit. For instance, we started off with a discussion of, I have to read this because I have no easy way of explaining it, therefore I was not in charge of this conversation. Social neuroscience class and Des's paper on the neuroscientific research on sexual orientation with a mind to looking at how the scientific community may have a heteronormative bias and how some studies may be using flawed methods. From what I understand, it's that when we are looking into some research, we're like, oh, what is different in the homosexual brain from the heterosexual brain? Why are we looking at it as they're the ones different? Why is that the case? Why aren't we looking at it maybe from the perspective that the heterosexuals are weird? Or different, I suppose, would be the more politically correct term to use. I fail at this thing called political correctness, sue me. Please don't. I lost track. It's a lot of topics, which is why I'm concerned for her paper, but it's also a 20-page paper, so I think she has to address that many topics. I'm in health sciences. We don't have to do 20-page papers. And then we moved on to our realization that nobody likes cognitive psychology. It was kind of funny. We actually had three psychology students, 2 health science students, and myself, a health science psychology student, in the room. So we were all like, oh, we know all these things about brain health. This is so cool. So we actually talked about that for a little while. But yeah, we were just like, oh my god, cognitive psychology, why? Not only is it taught poorly at our school, I should keep quiet on where our school is. Watch me wear the sweater one of these days that has my school logo on it. Anyway, so basically came down to a lot of their theories kind of sound like bullshit. There's too many theories to go over because cognitive psychology is a very broad topic, but most of it's just like, you're trying to come up with a general idea for the brain. I'm presuming a lot of people's brains are wired differently. That's why we have different psychologies and behaviors. Who knew? Anyway, then our other members showed up and we're like, okay, let's talk about less psychology things. So then we came to the topic of Explore, except that only lasted like a minute. Basically, Explore is a program where you can get a scholarship to go to a probably French location, most of them in Quebec, to learn about, well, not learn about, but you just improve your French. I went on it in 2008. It was lots of fun, though. I went there, I improved my French, I lost my French afterwards, but still, I went from niveau 2 to, hey, I can actually keep up in a conversation. It has to be a very slow conversation, don't expect me to speak much French. Again, my conjugation, gone. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this short. Not working. What else have we talked about? Allergies and how I have them. BC. I'm not allergic to my home province. Why am I allergic here? Okay. We discussed the many ways that you can live alone and survive without money, such as pitching a tent in the park and using dried foods that you keep in a locker or somewhere that isn't the park that you have your tent in. This was a discussion. Okay, for those then we go into our fandom talks. We have a lot of fandom talks. Somehow it always comes back to Les Mis. I blame Allie. Not the Allie that's watching this, unless she suddenly is. Continuing. Basically, don't start Doctor Who on the creepy episodes. If you're trying to convince somebody that this is the show they should watch, don't start them on episodes like Don't Blink, or what else is a creepy episode? I guess The Flesh. People came back from SakuraCon. That was fun times. I got buttons. Danae also got buttons. I don't think she watches this. Probably not. We broke another cup. Doc Brown on tea. Of all the things in the world that can make him angry, the one thing that makes him angry enough to start rap again is putting the milk in first for tea. You should put that stuff in last. Except no, it doesn't taste as good. My personal opinion. I prefer to put in the sugar and then the milk and then you put the tea in the teapot and then you pour the tea from the teapot into the cup. It tastes better. And something about Les Mis, mostly just how when you're watching it, you will cry. I didn't cry for the last episode of anybody in Doctor Who. Apparently this is further explanation of my not having a soul. Let's see. It's never too early to drink. We weren't talking about tea. I don't know why this came up. Probably because Michael went to the pub and brought back fries. And we were talking about tattoo designs, because apparently one of our members has a tattoo, and it's super cool. She designed it herself. And I kind of looked at it and was like, dude, design me one! Except I probably never get it, because I am a lazy ass. But still, there was a pretty compass in it, and I was like, what? I have a pirate soul. Except I have no soul. Except I can claim a soul if I don't have a heart. I'm okay with not having a heart. The Canucks lost. We had really smooth tea. Like, Mika, she brought back tea from Seattle when she was at SakuraCon, and we tried it, and we're just like, this tea has texture. Beautiful, beautiful, smooth texture. What is this sensation? And then we had another pot of it, because you can steep it, like, 5 times or something, 5 or 8 times, and we drank it again, and it's just like, it's not as smooth, but it still has flavor, and it's still wonderful. Okay, similar to the square and rectangle thing, which I can never remember, tartan is plaid, but plaid is not tartan, and you should not call tartan plaid, even though plaid is the category. Tartan is within that category, but you do not want to call tartan plaid. And the kilt is not technically Scottish. It was originally English, but then it was brought in, as me falling over, as part of the Scottish culture. I haven't read up enough of the history, but this is what I keep getting told by the person who works at the plaid shop. Then we watched a video by Danny Boy on the many lovely things of Scotland. You can search that also on YouTube, as well as the Doc Brown one. We couldn't find the puppies, because there was this thing at our school where they were supposed to be doing puppy therapy, but we went at 12:30 when they were supposed to be happening, and all they had were the cheese strings and the yogurt and the oranges, and they had a parachute, but no puppies. And there were just a bunch of people in the lounge being like... We were also discussing stupidly attractive people. Case in point, Jensen Ackles. But these stupidly attractive people we were talking about are more those ones where it's like, you are beautiful. You have talent in art, music, writing. You make all clothes look good. You are fabulous in every single way. You freaking volunteer. You are the nicest person on the planet. I can't tell if I want to love you / be your friend, screw you, or punch you in the face. So, we were just talking about those people. They do exist. And I imagine their lives are stressful, but at the same time, you look at them and you're like, can I kill you? Please? I promise it'll be painful. And, right, Jensen Ackles' baby to be, because I haven't seen his wife, but I have seen Jensen Ackles. And if people tell me that Jensen Ackles' wife is also attractive, like on par with Jensen Ackles in female form, then when they say their baby is going to be gorgeous, I believe them. I'm just waiting 20 years in the future. Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, hi, I am way too old for you, but you're pretty. And that is the kinds of things we discuss at Tea Club. We discuss everything, and it's a lot of fun. And we try out different teas. We also have our various tea events, and I am the dictator. I didn't really get to discuss how that happened. Basically, last summer, club's days, we were in need of a second executive, and I was at the table. So I signed my name into the computer, and I became the second executive. And then our president graduated at the end of that summer, and so the role went to me. And originally it was president, but then we realized that everyone in Tea Club is just really apathetic. We don't do opinions. Other than that, we drink tea. Anyway, so they didn't want to have any more elections, therefore I became dictator. That is all I really have to say on Tea Club. We talk a lot. It's a 3-hour meeting. That's what happens.